Here's today's First Word Daily Devotion.
Here we are at March the 9th, and we turn our attention today to Numbers chapter 3. And notice what the Bible says. It says, "These are the generations of Aaron and Moses at the time when the Lord spoke with Moses on Mount Sinai." And so we're still continuing to number the clans and people, tribes of Israel. But notice what's brought to our memory here in verse 2. Or in verse 3, "These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the anointed priest, whom he ordained to serve as priest." Listen to this. "But Nadab and Abihu died before the Lord when they offered unauthorized fire before the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai, and they had no children." So there we have a reminder. God keeps before us the strange fire incident as a reminder of His holiness, as a reminder of the important job that the Levites have. It's sort of like an epitaph. Just imagine this. We would pass by the "Here lies Nadab and Abihu, who died offering strange fire to God." So their lives, and really their death, becomes a perpetual reminder of what the Lord requires. Notice how serious this is, especially for what we have coming up next. Verse 9, "You shall give the Levites to Aaron and to his sons. They are wholly given to him from among the people of Israel. And you shall appoint Aaron and his sons, and they shall guard the priesthood. But if any outsider comes near, he shall be put to death." And so we see how peculiar this ordinance is for the people of Israel, in particular as it relates to the Levites. Now look at verse 5 through 10. Here we have the duties of the Levites. They were to do two main things. They were to guard the tabernacle from intruders, as well as they were supposed to minister at the tabernacle. In other words, they were to transport it from place to place. And then, of course, in chapter 4, we'll get into how all of that is to be done. But look at verse 11 through 13. Look at these details here. The Lord is taking us back to the incident of the Exodus to always remind His people that redemption is based upon the Lord's action. They are, as far as they are, walking in His ways, all because of the salvation that He has wrought for them through the Exodus event. And so here we have this reason for the Levitical census. You remember the last plague that we had? Every firstborn male Egyptian and every firstborn of their cattle died. But remember, God saved the Israelites, and He saved the Israelites, and they were spared. And so originally, every firstborn Israelite, and this is Exodus chapter 11, every firstborn Israelite was to serve as a priest was to serve God in the sanctuary. But all of this changed, and this is important for us. All of this changed after the golden calf incident in Exodus chapter 32. Now the Levites take the place of every firstborn son in Israel. And so that's an important change for us to mark. Remember what Peter says? Peter says that we are a kingdom of priests, but here we see in the Levitical system, they are a kingdom with priests. And so notice this here, this language of redemption, or this language of the redeeming money, or the redemption money. Leviticus chapter 27 and verse 6, that's where we have the tariff for boys under 5. And then we have this 5 shekels. Now, 5 shekels is about a year's pay for a herdsman. And so here we have these details that let us know how encompassing the worldview is that, or the type of people that God is making. He's making an entire system for His people, a system that's going to display His holiness to the rest of the world. Every little detail matters. And even in something like economics matters. That's underneath God's control. But let's turn our attention to the New Testament reading. Let's look over at Mark. Speaking of economics, look at this beautiful story of the one who comes and anoints Jesus. Look at this. We have here His saying, "For you always have the poor with you, and whenever you want, you can do good for them. But you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand for burial. And truly I say to you, wherever the gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, What she has done will be told in memory of her. And then notice what happens right away in verse 10. Judas Iscariot, who was one of the 12, went to the chief priest in order to betray him to them. And when they heard it, they were glad and promised to give him money. And he sought an opportunity to betray him. And we'll close our reading today. A lot of details here. Hopefully you enjoyed the reading today and on March the 9th. But we close our reading just by looking at Proverbs chapter 11, verse 24 through 26. One gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give, and only suffers want. Whoever brings blessing will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered. The people curse him who holds back grain, but a blessing is on the head of him who sells it.